your command.
Woo! Hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? And right on cue, look who just popped on in there. Hey, what's
Hail.
up?
Hail. Good evening.
Hey, man, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it.
Well, it was one of those, well, I won't go into it. It's not polite on YouTube, but
Yeah, I don't care. It's okay.
It was going to be one of those, I got to leave in the middle of the show or be right on time to the beginning of the show kind of thing. So,
yeah.
You're having... it was a BSG 14 kind of moment.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
Yeah.
Well, and you're having some bad weather up there as well for everybody.
I am. And thankfully it's holding up. Yeah, I showed you the picture of the radar. It's like red. Just here we go. Yeah. It was like as red as communist China out there, folks.
It didn't look good. And the weather here it's rained off and on, but again the other day the lights for no reason, nice and sunny outside, just flickered. Boop, boop, boop. Like a couple times, like, okay, what's up with that?
Maybe it was a close encounter of the one more than second, one less than fourth kind.
It might have been the steam rolling off my head because that damn bird outside won't stop chirping every now and then. And it's just one.
Just one.
Not unlike one of the reasons why I was thinking the other day, I'm not going to move back to Virginia, Alexandria. I love that town, but there's hordes of those little wrens, the WRENs. They're actually labeled as a pest up there, but there's thousands of them.
Right.
You ever see these little birds when you go to a parking garage, like a grocery store? There's those little brown ones. You see them here in Florida, but not like up there, man. Not in city, Alexandria City. And I thought the other day, said, man, if I go back there, I'm just gonna
the northern house wren.
Yeah, they're insufferable, man, insufferable. And hail to Buddy Hepburn and FKHC 2005.
Oh, hail.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was kind of
people. We always get people flowing in, right as we're about ready to start here, or right as we start. So,
yeah, I could stall a little bit. And I wrote some notes down for this week just so we could have stuff to talk about.
So I don't stand a chance, is what you're saying.
Yeah, let me add the stage and do all that stuff and get that rolling here because I have to do my quick little thing to blink and then make sure it pops over there on the YouTube side.
Wrens don't look bad on their own if they're tiny little things, but yeah, they're like packs of 20 everywhere you go.
No,
you drop a French fry on the ground, they're like done.
Yeah, it's gone. Bushes outside your apartment window or outside. I mean, thousands of them, man. And then
your neighbor doesn't fumigate it with their
no
recreational inhibition of choice.
No. I was gonna flamethrow one time about doing that. I've had battles with these things, even in a 16-story apartment building. There was a little bush outside. I was on the 8th floor at one time, and then moved all the way to like the 10th floor. Anyway, there was the design had like a little crook in the concrete outside of the building, went all the way from the bottom floor all the way to the top. Right? So I guess it was like a support beam kind of on the outside, but it had a little area where these kinds of birds would move into, but it never that high up. Well, until I moved in to like the 8th floor. So right about the 9th floor, they wanted to make a nest right there. And then all day long, 2 birds. And I mean all day long. And
there went the neighborhood, right?
All day long, dude. All day. So in the morning and at night, and then finally until they went to bed. So on the weekend, if you were home or whatever, it was insane. I went to war. I bought a water gun.
Nice.
to battle it out with them. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, I won't get into too much of that, but you get the picture.
Well, you know what we had at work today? Well, we had two things at work. The first one, we had a little tiny fawn. I guess mom left it near the side door to the building. And so the building supervisor said, please don't touch. But they sent the pictures around everybody. And then the other thing we had today was a tornado roll through town. So that was interesting.
That's not
everybody.
Good,
everybody at work had to take shelter. And I don't think anybody got hurt, but
and you weren't there, right?
I was at work.
Wow, dude. Yeah, that's the big thing down here. Dadman and I, Dadman pointed it out that the hurricanes are, the flooding and the wind.
Yep.
And the stuff flying around. But then the tornadoes will come down. When I went to Ireland, we had that was the Cat 5 and turned to 4 before it hit. Mm-hmm. It came off the Gulf and came swerving in toward the Tampa area. That I was watching from the hotel. So the first couple of days over there was really stressful, because I wasn't really having fun the first couple of nights out there.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Oh, you remember? I was actually going to live stream from Ireland, but then I was like, I'm not live streaming this until I know what's going on back home. I should have done it anyway. Like Saturday, I knew everything was fine, but until then, it was the tornadoes down south with my other cousins and stuff down there, and I was like, man, these tornadoes down here are bad.
Yeah. But anyway, and I was talking to Dadman about this earlier, and he was wondering, hey, Classic Comics, great to see you.
Hey, Classic Comics, we're just kind of stalling for people to come in, and we're going to get started here in just a second. Kind of get my stuff together.
So I was talking with Dadman about this. Dadman Walking 55. Go check him out if you haven't. And he asked me, y'all get tornadoes up there? And I said, yeah. And I sent him the picture where we're in the most severe category region. Like there's a center of the country that goes from like Oklahoma up here, then down to like Arkansas and Alabama, northern Alabama. It's like, yep, we're in that. So he was like, I had no idea. I'm like, well, yeah. That's the one piece of bad weather we get besides a blizzard, right?
Well, yeah.
He said the same thing about the tornadoes off the hurricanes are no fun either. So anyway, speaking of tornadoes, Dave, we kind of have some weird tornadic action in tonight's issue, don't we?
Yeah, dude. Have you read this?
I leafed through it. Virtually leafed through it. I did not read any of the plot. I wanted to see it kind of looks like a different superhero. And I was like, no, that can't be.
No, I'll get into it with the Royal Flush Gang there. I know these characters not very well.
You did. I figured you at least knew of their existence.
Yes, that's about it. Though I can't quite remember it's Batman Brave and the Bold, the animated show, and or the Batman Beyond.
Right.
I can't quite remember which show that they are in, but they're in one of those too, unless I don't think it's the Batman TOS. Or the Batman 2009, which I like. I know that's a hot take, but that's for another day. I'm pretty sure it's Batman Brave and the Bold. And what did Buddy say? Made in the
Turlot.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Royal Flush Gang is not it, but we get new characters, so that's good.
Right? I just got that
in the Turlot.
Oh, that took me a minute.
Yeah, it's like Chipotle.
They met in the Royal Flush Gang met in Latry, France.
Oh, you've got me.
There you go.
The party in the bidet. The bidet.
Their arts in the loo.
I'm going to tell you something about those bidets. when I was in Japan, I stayed at the place called the Stars and Stripes. They had a little base there. The real old school star. Do you know what the Stars and Stripes are? The newspaper, the military newspaper, old school. Mm-hmm. They still have a little bitty base out there, pretty close to Roppongi. You could walk to Roppongi from there. Mm-hmm. And every now and then, if you could get a room well in advance, really cheap room, but really nice, basic army military prices, 30, 40 bucks a night.
Yep.
And really nice. And just walking distance, pretty much wherever you want to go. Transportation in Japan's easy anyway, Tokyo, because it's so huge. Tokyo's a big city.
Yep.
But I stayed at the Stars and Stripes. They had a bidet, toilet. And let me tell you, it's pretty damn nice. I kind of liked it. I mean, it was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But anywho, now that we've introed it, thank you for that, buddy. We get the Royal Flush Gang, and they are a card-based group, as we could have told, right? You could tell. If you didn't catch on then, you catch on now. That's what they do. That's their shtick. And you get here, you got the Ace of Spades here. And damn, I just can't remember what animation it was, JT. But they were kind of badass.
Batman Brave and the Bold.
I think it was probably the Brave and the Bold animated.
Yeah.
But they were tough. They were flying around, and it took a little bit for the characters to subdue them. I think maybe Flash was in there. I can't remember. Anywho, but we have something else to talk about this first. Last week, we created our own kind of cliffhanger based on the ending of the El Joker from last issue.
He fell off the top of the span on the suspension bridge into the water, laughing all the way.
Yes.
Right?
And yes, FKC, I drove to Richmond one time, especially on my motorcycle. I went over that bridge a couple times on the way down to Myrtle Beach. A lot of people are too scared to even go over that bridge. But if that's the big one that you're talking about, I liked it. It was fun for me. And I don't like heights. Not like looking over the edge of a building. I can't do that. But
did it have a paved lane and a graded lane?
It had the graded lanes, and
they have one of those at the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan. That scares me in a car.
If that's the right bridge, it might be a different one. I'm thinking of more south. Yeah. Yep. So, El Joker took a nosedive off that bridge up there in Star City, and you and I had a guess what would happen next issue type of a thing, just for fun, because the way it ended, we're like, I'm gonna take the stance, because I hadn't read it until today, and we asked everybody in the chat to do this as well, just for fun. Take a wild guess. Are they gonna do a continuation directly from last issue? Or are they just going to act like it's no big deal and just move on to something else and just keep going, and maybe just mention it or something as a kind of like a thing that they do for the next issue? What was your guess from last week, Jake?
Mine was totally disconnected, like it never happened.
Yeah, that was my guess as well, although we weren't too sure if they were going to try to cover it up.
So far, you could read these all completely out of order.
Yes, that was the point of trying to do that. We were both right. And it doesn't matter if it's a spoiler, because being right, this means this is pretty much a one-off, like you just said, although they tried to write it in as some kind of a thing that he mentions. So we were right. And everybody in the chat was right too. I think a lot of people guessed, yeah, they're just going to just going to move on.
Right. But I love this already. I just want to say the cover page, kind of weird, but in the inside page, fantastic art. At least in the view that you're showing, the bottom of the page is pretty forgettable. But just like this view on YouTube from the neon up, it's just the Joker looking like, King Kong or something like supersized. And then Massive. It says, according to the rules, the Joker beats any card in the deck. I love that line.
Yeah. It reminds me of Mark D's big ass Galactus statue with all the little FF4 characters flying around it. That's a pretty badass statue that he has there. It's pretty. It's cool. Mm-hmm. It's huge. You've seen it, I think, maybe a couple times. Everybody here's seen it a couple times. It's massive.
Mm-hmm. But rules are made to be broken, and when the game pits the mirthful malefactor against the royal flush gang, in the clown prince of crime in that game, you can be sure it won't be played according to Hoyle. Hoyle is the deck of cards, the rules in it, right?
That's what I'm thinking. They make cards.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going. I didn't look that part up. I had to look up a word.
Okay. Edmund Hoyle. Yes, Edmund Hoyle, 1672 to 1769, an English writer best known for his works on the rules and play of card games. The phrase "according to Hoyle" meaning strictly according to the rules.
Yeah, in this comic, as we know, this is issue number 5, so we've kind of caught on to you have to have your just go with it hat and try to follow along what the Joker's going to do. So they play off the fact that the Joker is completely unstable, unpredictable, can do one thing normal and the next thing just completely out of whack. And it's great for writers and in this kind of thing because they can do whatever the hell they want and just say, well, it's just the Joker. So get ready. JT, everybody.
Okay, I am ready, and I'm raring and ready to go.
So let's look at the Martin Pasco, the script. I'm not sure if I know that name. Maybe a couple of the guys from last week are different. And I thought just for a second that Joker's face was a little bit different. Very, very close. But I don't know if you noticed that. I happen to be right about that, and I'm being honest with you. I read this earlier today. This is the first time I've read it.
Okay.
So the art is different. We've got new people here.
More felonious fun from Martin Pasco, Irv Novick, and Tex Blaisdell. 2 new names, right? Dave, you're on mute. Okay. He might be on mute for a reason there. Let's see. And the last person here who we do have returning is Julia Schwartz, who has the Schwartz as big as mine. And yes, Dave has a minor tech issue. So he's going to unshare that.
Hello?
Yes, we can see you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird. That was just a mic pop, and it wasn't the electrical. The lights and everything were fine. That
FKHC 2005 says, "Good. The show's better without Dave." Well, thank you, sir. I am very flattered.
That's sweet. I can go just watch Transformers while you guys do the show. I'll just come back on it.
You did unshare off the stage there, by the way. I don't know if you can see that piece.
The what now?
The comic is not showing.
Yeah. I had. Well, I on my tree arm, it's blocked. Remember to do that the way we're doing the comics now. I can't see anything until I X out of the comic on StreamYard side. So I'll have to add it back to the stage. That was crazy. It was just like pop, pop, pop right in my ears. I don't think that's happening.
Hey, it happens. Static, interference. You said you had a close encounter of the third kind recently, so maybe.
Oh, that was a total electrical for the whole place. I have to go pull this comic back up, so we're gonna have to stall here for just a second.
So you had a huge electrical event. Now you've had mics popping. I sincerely hope that you are not on the short list for the probing. I'll just, for science, of course, but still unwanted.
Yeah, that was weird because that was a completely different from the electric. That was my setup here. That was straight in the StreamYard or my microphone type of deal. Give me.
So while we're doing this, has anyone else experienced the Royal Flush Gang? This is my first time hearing of them. They sound kind of lame. So my expectations are already kind of ready to be set up to be disappointed a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're that anime. When I saw them in the animated show, they were pretty cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were tough. Couple of the characters were pretty strong. But you're not wrong again. I can tell you that. All right.
So, Classic Comics says, yep, they're pretty lame. Okay, well, I guess I'll go in with that expectation. And, it's like dodgeball. If you never set any goals, then you'll never fail them or something like that, I think was the line.
If you can dodge a wrench.
Well, yes, that was there too. Anyway, so it's 4 a.m. and most citizens are settled into slumber for another night. But for the night watchman of this warehouse, it might as well be noon. And I'm wondering if it's going to be our duo, but I have a feeling no.
I wish they missed out again here.
Yes.
I was a little upset. It's not Benny and Marv. And for everybody who's not seen these other 4 issues, we got to know a couple guys, security guards called Benny and Marv, obviously.
I'm surprised this security guard is allowed to be packing heat.
Well, he must have got the license for it. Betty and Marv were pretty redunculous at their jobs, and I mean in a bad way. They seem to get fired pretty much every time we meet them. But they were pretty brave because they took on the Joker 2 times at least? Head on. They tackled him at one point. So they're not scaredy cats per se.
Hey, Lady V.
But they're absolutely Lady V. Hey. They're terrible at their jobs. And
so this guy is more competent, and I already can tell because he has his thermos.
Yeah, he's got his sandwich and his old school. That's an old school lunchbox there. Look at that big ass.
Like a lunch pail.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to smash you in the head with that. So yeah, Benny and Marv were so bad at their jobs, we figured that if the writers were paying attention to what we were going to do 45 years later, they would have made them henchmen. And we almost got that. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. So
this is kind of funny. It's going to be the Joker, probably, right? But boss, I don't get it. What is that thing? A whoopee cushion.
Ignoramus.
And if you sit on it, it makes the most embarrassing noise. I don't know if embarrassing is the right word for that. I would say the most hilarious noise.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on your humor, right?
Well, yeah, it's funny for about a half a second considering what happened to the security guy.
Well, except this one is a bit noisier than most.
Just a little.
So, bro pretty much sat on a claymore.
Pretty much here. Look at, man, it's a whole slide panel of boom. Look at it. Look what I didn't notice earlier. 2 quick little things. I thought that was just like coffee, but it actually blew a hole in the thermos. Do you know how big an explosion that would have to take?
That's what I was saying. Bro sat on a claymore.
Yeah, and there goes his sandwich. I didn't notice the sandwich. Look. So this is
like a butter sandwich too. The way
this
butter and cheese or something. Yeah.
Some funny art here. You got to appreciate it. And then the Joker didn't waste any time by deleting anybody, did he? Page 2. Somebody's already bit the dust.
Yeah. But this art on this page, I'm getting kind of nervous, Dave.
Well,
the art on this page is not stacking up.
It's not stacking up as much. I tried to tell you. I thought maybe there was different people, and I didn't even look at it earlier. I thought it was just me. You know what I mean? I'm just being picky.
It's the FKHG 2K5. That thermos was 3 days from retirement.
Yeah, and he had 5 weeks of vacation rolled up that could have got paid as a bonus on top.
No.
I know all about that, don't I, JP? 5 weeks of vacation.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is they kept some continuity. They got the pinstripes on the pants, but the face, although isn't, this left one is a little odd.
So, the whole body's drawn differently. Yeah, it looks like a different Joker. From this angle, anyway. Minutes later, deep within the warehouse, they're searching through everything. They find it, and it has on the box Humoresque Novelty Co. from Wildwood, Wisconsin. Where's Lisa when we need her?
Yeah.
Wildwood, Wisconsin, without an E, is an actual place.
Well, I wrote stand by in the chat with an E. See ya.
So Wildwood without an E is right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. Actually close to Minneapolis.
Yeah, and the company's not called the Humor Novelty Company. It's called the Humoresque.
Yes.
It's not straight up humorous. It's just humoresque. Anywho, yeah, Blondie over here. We've got our henchman, but damn it, JT, it's not Marv or Benny.
Well, it's one of the evil henchmen.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, we got to get those guys back.
This guy, I could just hear his voice. I thought you said this gig had something to do with art.
Yes. So remember how we brought up a couple issues ago, they had pretty much the whole issue was just double entendres, quips, word art, word humor, word jokes, going back and forth on play on words. Remember, it was like every page.
Yes.
And then the last issue, we only got that maybe two times. Well, buckle up. We're back to the old ways. Just start counting them. Start adding them up. I mean, you just started. Yeah. I ran out of fingers. Toes. So get ready.
So correct, numbskull, but we're not here for the art treasures because I know nothing about art. I do, however, know what I like, and I absolutely adore this.
Well, that novelties. I say that line every now and then, so I was laughing pretty well. I don't know art, but I don't know crazy, but I know kung fu, or I don't know kung fu, but I don't know crazy. Isn't that the way you say it, everyone? Oh yeah. I don't know kung fu, but I know crazy. It was in a movie.
So he opened up this thing of like, fake flowers and hand zappers and all these novelty practical jokes. And then the henchman says, but you said art. And the Joker.
Well,
the Joker.
Yeah, look what he says about it.
I didn't tell you? That was the Night Watchman's name. Art.
But here we go. Now, here's something I need to show you because it's not quite.
His face is horrible here, by the way.
Yeah, so he breaks into the building just to rob some novelty things that he could have just ordered online or gone to the store and got. Because, Joker can walk around and drive his Joker-mobile with no problem, right?
Yes, because
no matter, he's a I think his felony counts probably in the hundreds by now.
Well, in Gotham's police department's run by Eric Adams that we learned about in the second episode. Yeah,
that's right.
The second issue. So,
but the Joker's Joker. So I'm going to point something out here only because it confused the living crap out of me later on. Two things do, but they follow up on it, and this is why. I was like, what in the heck are they talking about? There's something else in this box besides little novelties, gimmicks. Do you see it?
A diary.
There you go. Okay, so they put that in there. Now something makes sense to me. And it probably will to you now that I've pointed it out. I don't know if I should have done it, but I think I should have because it was just so weird later on.
Yes.
little evil Joker there. It's different. You can tell the difference now, right? You can see
a different artist.
It's a different artist. Totally a different artist. But read the box. I was waiting for you to read this box.
Later at a trailer camp in the Home on Wheels. The mobile version of Joker's Hacienda. Yes, because I couldn't put those two together, but
sorry.
Anyway, but I love it though. The Home on Wheels.
Yeah, we love the Hacienda. It's great.
Let's see. So they're all playing cards.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's about 100 degrees in there, and they're wearing turtlenecks.
Well, the rocket. You caught it. You caught it. Old Blondie there's rocking the turtleneck. They've got to put that in. It's like my plant from Black Panther.
Yes.
So I've moved on to turtlenecks now and bell bottoms. So
and these guys got a huge downgrade in the artwork for the henchmen.
Yeah. This guy here on the left looks like a Scooby-Doo kind of guy.
I was going to say the one on the left looks like he's from Planet of the Apes. Like just the way they drew his face all wrong. The one in the middle.
Look at
the one in the middle. If I didn't know that men wore turtlenecks in the 70s, I would say it's some common. And then the dude on the right looks like he is an extra from the BSG comics.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
And that's not a compliment.
Not in a good way. But look how he's got it decked out. He's got his home mobile. Home on wheels. Decked out all in like his apartment.
Right.
Which is kind of funny. So paying attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little table here, the lamp.
Yeah, they do some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, and on the edge there have a little art there. That's okay. That's good. We like that. In the turtleneck, that's funny. This guy's blonde bob cut, like he's a 70-year-old Karen.
Mm-hmm. Anything of interest in that local newspaper? What are those? First of all,
you have to read the headlines because you just never know what's going to happen. Wink, wink.
Some dude named Wild has some paintings. Let me see that rag. I love it because it's probably true. Wildwood to commemorate 100th birthplace of namesake painter Thaddeus V. Wild.
Tim goes, "What's a newspaper?"
Yeah, rare works to be exhibited at library.
Well, there's something else that's been happening in this comic, and I'm sure you've caught on to it, but I don't know if it's piqued your interest. It did mine.
He calls them an idiot in a different way in every single time.
You see everybody why JT's so great doing this. I say it every week how smart he is, but he thinks I'm just kissing his ass. But it's really true. He did. That's exactly what I was gonna say. The Joker
it's just as great minds think alike. I mean, really.
Yeah, that this issue, he's insulting his henchmen at every chance he gets. And I'm serious, dude. So we're counting the tropes, the little quips in the double entendres, and we also have to count how many times he calls his henchmen at some kind of name.
I wish he would, instead of stooges, I wish he had said nincompoops, make preparations.
I think he calls them that later on. I'm not sure.
We're going on a trip. This is when music would kick in, or you'd roll the intro and then go to commercial for 25 minutes.
Well, yeah, so he's called them Cretins and Stooges on the same page. And then you can really tell the art difference here again. But we're used to it now because it's different people.
Okay.
Let's see. So I like this part here. They gave us some time continuity, or at least some time reference. That it took them about 24 hours to get where they're going. I like that. Mm-hmm. So we don't normally get that in this, have we? Like they just show up and you just assume it took them some time.
Maybe they didn't.
I don't think they've really made a point of it. But they made a point of it here. And these guys are these are actual real police officers, sheriffs.
They're supposed to be, although they're wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
Does the sheriff wear captain's bars?
Could be if they have.
I thought the sheriff would wear an eagle or like a colonel eagle or stars.
He would wear the top. He would wear the top stuff.
Not a captain rank.
No, not a captain rank.
One of the deputies would wear the captain. So anyway, so I'm nitpicking. I'm going down nitpick, but
they put it in there. It's something. Yeah. Then the sheriff,
sheriffy.
That's a hell of a large patch, isn't it?
I misspelled sheriff, but I did not misspell deputy.
Sheriff officer? I don't know, a sheriff officer.
You heard me. I misspelled the sheriff, but I did misspell the deputy. Anyway.
Yes. Well, this guy shows up.
Yes. The great grandson.
Yeah, claiming to be Oscar. I called him Oscar Wilde. I'm going to do that probably like 3 more times.
Me too.
Arthur Wilde, who, by the way, is kind of, I think, a pun on the Joker's name. And if I can remember, I'll talk about some of that a little bit later. But yeah, well, you know who that is, I think. Mm-hmm. But then they're like, well, we've been trying to locate you. And I was like, what? So he just walks in. Yeah. The great grandson, dude.
I think this is the Joker. Based on every other time he's done this so far. This is the Joker.
Yeah, could be.
If they haven't found him in 30 years.
Yeah, they haven't found him in 30 years. He just shows up. I've been abroad.
I'm sus already on this.
You're sus. I'm not even sure. I got to look that up. Suspect?
Yes. Okay. It's child slang for suspect. Anyway.
Oh, dude, that's.
I've been abroad.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember how to say it.
Wow. Great grandfather's, most valuable canvases. And there we go. American painter, 1876 to 1976.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You're reading the banner there. So this dude here, Mr. Wilde, Arthur Wilde, is trying to say that he's really only there because he wants to see a particular painting called The Laughing Man. And who are my Ghost in the Shell fans out there? JT, you ever watch Ghost in the Shell?
No.
Oh, it's great. The movie's awesome. They had a series called The Standalone Complex, and then they also had one-off movie called The Laughing Man. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good, really popular. Anywho, sorry, before I go off on animated stuff.
So The Laughing Man, I thought The Piano Man, but maybe that's another piece of art.
Well, they have an interesting conversation here. And I just wanted to point it out that this El Sheriffy thing, whatever his name is, Captain Sheriff, says that doesn't exist. It's just a myth. So that was kind of an interesting point to bring up. I was like, well, okay. All right, let's go with it.
So they think it's a myth, but they're flying in more canvases tomorrow under armed guard.
Yeah, the sheriff just willingly tells some dude who walks in claiming that he's Arthur Wilde for 30 years. Here's all our security procedures for what we're doing. just on a whim. Hey, man, how you doing? Have no idea who you are, but here's what we're doing. We're flying on. You get where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
It's just a setup.
Another 24-hour jump, and then they're back outside Wildwood in the home on wheels.
Well, this is kind of cool because it almost shows a sense of that they're thinking what we're thinking about. The Joker mobiles just driving around town. At least they're trying to hide it this time.
2 miles outside of town.
2 miles out of town, apparently, in like corn. I don't know. some kind of field area type of thing. But at least they're trying not to be so obvious. We just talked about that. Normally they wouldn't give a damn, but they have parked their cars outside of town a few times though. Remember the one issue with the truck and stuff was outside of town, but that was all part of the plot to steal stuff anyway.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't
much more
just
clever
ordinary.
plot than this so far.
So far.
And then henchmen are playing cards, of course. So the boss signal beep beep on the radio. It was clearing the frequency twice.
I was like 8675. No, it didn't match. 2087. I thought maybe that was some kind of clue or something, but I was way off base. Never mind. I even said it. So they're all hanging up at the top of this building because, like it said, they didn't vent this guy at all. They just like, hey, I'm this dude. Okay, great. We're going to show you and tell you everything.
In small town Wisconsin, they're on the roof of a library, which is strong enough and large enough to host an armored helicopter. What kind of art is this?
Well, it's 4 pieces.
Is it pure gold art or something?
Well, they said it was a myth, didn't they?
Yeah.
And now they're delivering 4 pieces. So we're just assuming that they were just joking about that whole myth thing, because obviously it's not a myth because they're delivering it. And they're all hanging out. The cops have some cool cowboy hat stuff, like Texas Ranger hats. Did they wear that
sure
stuff
it says Wisconsin? I don't think so. Not like this.
Yeah. Well, it's the Wildwood Sheriff. Sheriffs want to they'll wear what they want, right? They can make their own uniform. But guess who shows up downstairs? Because everybody's upstairs.
The King of Clubs?
I'm not sure which one that is.
It's either spades or clubs. I think it's actually spades.
Well, it's not this. It won't be the ace of spades. That's the Silver Surfer looking dude.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which one this was. I didn't even guess, even though I told you that story about guessing the cards the other day. Now, this sheriff, look what happens to him.
This is the deputy. This is a deputy.
Oh, the deputy sheriff. My bad. That we get that split pane again. Remember we were talking about last issue? They love doing multi-panes from left to right. Well, they stick to that MO. It must be kind of a thing with these guys. Maybe it's a DC thing, but we see it every issue now, several times. They'll do 4 or 5 panes. And this is a 5-pane slide. But look what happens to this dude.
Don't move. A guy dressed like a card? How funny. So funny. Absolutely slays me.
Here we go. Dun-dun-bunk.
Slay Queen.
Yeah, except
who knew? Slay King.
Yeah, except it actually did slay him. So that's 2 down already. We're only on page 5. Is this for kids?
Of course.
I don't know. It's better than what we saw a couple issues ago. I mean, considering what's happened, it's not as brutal. But yeah, this guy gets deleted. So that's 2 already.
He said, well, I didn't even touch him. Must have been something in his coffee.
Yeah.
Vicious.
The knave signals with his lance. Did you catch that? The knave. That's old school medieval stuff.
Yes.
That was kind of funny. If you catch on to it. I didn't catch on to that when I read
this
it the first time.
Almost Soviet looking helicopter.
Yeah, so we get a bunch of characters flying around. They do that, by the way, as you noticed from the cover.
Yep.
They have the ability to fly on these card mobiles.
Yep.
Card carpets.
2 card stock surfers, and it looks like the king and queen of spades.
Yep. And one on the roof as well. And they got their back turned because all the sheriffs and everybody are like, oh, what the heck is going on? And you look who's running away.
The Joker.
Yeah, he's good. I'm gone. See ya. We said before he'll run what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The sheriff is smoking his cigar. Come on, boys, draw your guns. Like you have to tell me? We're getting held up, dude. Yeah. I need you to... So this dude pulls out his lance. Pardon me while I whip this out. And I'm going to shish kebab you.
Nice. Notice he managed to hold on to his cigar the whole time until now.
Until gasp. So you were close. Yeah. Queen. This is the Queen of Spades. So we had the King of Spades, the Ace of Spades, and then we'll figure what the other one is going to be, something like you had mentioned before, the one on the roof already. So what I thought was kind of weird, and this is who said they were lame? Hang around. You'll get your wish.
Classic Comics.
Classic
this
Comics.
Is lame. Right. You already heard me sigh once. The Four of Spades representing peace, which will make you so peaceful you can't help but fall asleep.
All right. Now, just hang in there with this, okay? That's all I can tell you. I'm feeling just like you are right now. When I first read this, I'm like, what in that bleep? But you just go with it, and just put this to the side for just now. That's all I can tell you. This one frame right here, like they're all knocked out in the car. And what did it hit them? Did it what? Is there sleeping gas? You don't know. Don't know. Just hold on. Okay, hold on to that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get back to some more action here. So that is the Jack of Spades. Or is that real? Jack of Spades?
I don't know why they have him look like the Silver Surfer.
That's the way he looks like that. That's his comics look. I don't know who came first.
Why? How? Why?
I don't know if that
was like the king and the queen.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a debate for later. Time frame. Who came first?
Time to join my vapid villains. Okay, there's another one.
There's another one. And then, so the villain guys were just all kind of hanging around while all this is going on. Apparently so, right? They're just hanging around. And he's like, hey, dumb numbnuts here goes, did you see we got company? And I thought he was going to call him numbnuts here because jackass, I was just on the roof. But he didn't. They missed their point. They missed their opportunity there. They've been doing it the whole comic.
Right.
And they didn't do it there, which would have been the most obvious time to call him something. But he calls them Amateur Night Classics, if you're still with us. Classic. So there you go. Even the Joker's ragging on him. Yeah, nice. Those guys are Amateur Night. That was funny. And so Joker's kind of like, oh, the card thing is my thing.
Right. Right, because he's the Joker.
Yeah, because he's the Joker. In
the deck.
Yeah. The Joker beats any card in the deck.
Yeah. The Joker beats any card in the deck. So he has a Jack in the Box that he took from that humoresque collection.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a ladder with teeth, which latch onto the helicopter under the carriage with a damn good grip. Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty ferocious little ladder hook.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about doing it up in style, man. I mean, that's total Joker-esque. You talk about just being, that's just wild. So you give him a little credit for coming up with something like that, because that's a Joker style.
So then he sends his henchmen, all three of them, after the King of Spades.
Yeah, the one on the roof is stranded. Well, you notice, remember, he threw his lance up to Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
So now they think he's unarmed. So yeah, you're right. He's like, go kick his ass, boys. I'm like, all right. I don't know about Bob Blondie in his turtleneck, but I guess they're going to fight.
This is supposed to be an armored helicopter, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
First, we perforate the fuselage with acid-tipped spade pips. That's lame.
You guys are reminding me of the Cartman episode Awesemo on South Park, where he dresses up as the robot.
Yes.
And I can't do the setup part of this. If you've seen it, you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where the producer in Hollywood wants to talk to Cartman in the other room.
Yep.
And he's like, lame. I'm not going to tell you what happens. You can figure it out. It's South Park. And JT, you make an excellent point here. But here we go with it's an armored helicopter. So they have to come up with something. So it's acid tip. So you're good. You're good.
Yeah, but
all right.
What?
Just you're good.
If the acid's fast enough to do anything on the helicopter, it's going to dissolve these spades. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, the explosion on contact. I guess I'll just go with that. And it makes a spade design, so that's pretty cool. So there's the king of spades. So on the roof must have been maybe like the jack of spades. That's why he called him Jack, right? Yeah. So matches up.
I have no idea. How did the king of spades get away?
Well, the king of spades and the queen of spades were already flying around. The jack of spades.
Who was on the ground?
Jack of spades was on the roof. That's why he called him Jack. Throw me your lance. So now we match it up. The king and queen were in the ace are flying around.
I mean, at this point, whatever.
Yeah. Well, we get a double entendre here. Chuck, we got trouble in spades, which is an old school saying.
Yes. I knew they were going to do that too.
I thought they would. And they did.
Here, take a card, not just any card, the 3 of clubs, the card signifying generosity. You want paintings? Here, presents from me to you. And they take 3 paintings, but remember they had 4.
Well, yeah. So the card made them just throw stuff out because it's the card of generosity.
Yes.
Obviously, you caught on to that. I didn't really catch that at first. Like, what? I had to go back. Oh, okay. So, okay, who's in there throwing out paintings? Oh, okay. They made them do it. Are you catching on to what these cards do now?
Yes.
Now you do, right? Like so it's it's almost like a Doctor Strange type of thing trying to pull off here.
Yeah.
But I don't know who the second Silver Surfer is. Do you?
No.
Yeah,
not
I'm
the
very
real
confused.
Silver Surfer. I can tell you that.
So we got Ace of Spades, King of Spades, Queen of Spades, and Jack of Spades. I don't know who the other guy is here. That is a double, a clone. I guess it's a clone. And Classic says, I think later there was a JLL story. Classics, you are so good. If you can stay around for a little bit, you're gonna be so right. Just in case you have to leave. This is why the chat is so good, JT, and knowledgeable.
Right.
Because you'll see this here in a minute or two. Because we're still on like page 6 or 7. Oh, it's right here. Here we go.
It is right there.
It's right here. There you go, Classics. This is why the chat is so great. They know their stuff. I would not have known that. Not the Justice League of America, not back all the way to number 43. They even say way back. Yeah, that's way back.
Way back, yeah. And on the roof, Jack's got his hands with a full 3 of a kind. The solution to Jack's predicament in this card is the Ace of Spades, or the 8 of Spades, the Quarrel card. They'll be too busy fighting each other to give us any trouble. Oh, come on.
Well,
and just like the stunt we pulled against the Justice League way back in JLA 43. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the same issue I think Classics is talking about, but it's the JLA reference. So that they've been around for a while, the Flesh Kid. But did you catch on that Joker he called them the 4 flushers?
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to give him credit. Joker's sticking to these insults, man. That's one thing they're doing right here. The rest is just kind of, but I thought it was freaking hilarious that you look down and the henchmen are just punching the shit out of each other.
Right.
I mean, you got to add some kind of hilarity to this, or it's just, you know what I'm getting at here. You got to pull up, you got to tickle my funny bone with this here, because it's not it's pretty weak.
So the Joker jumps off of the Jack in the Box rope off the helicopter. And so Ace mentions 10. So the other Silver Surfer is 10 of spades.
Yes. So we get, and I didn't even catch on to this. I think what caught my interest was there's your fourth painting. And that the Joker was just like acting like he would. Yeah, that's mine.
Well, we should have guessed that it was going to be 10, Dave, because it's a royal flush.
It's a royal flush.
So Ace, right. King, Queen, Jack, 10.
Should have guessed it. What threw me off was that they look alike here. They can't come up with a different costume design.
Right. No,
so that right. So that threw me off all the way up until here. I was like, I have no idea who that is. Why would 10? Is it what? Is it a joke? Another Joker, and they're going to make a joke about that? That's what I was kind of going with.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now that explains it. It's the royal flush. I should have known better, but being that the costumes are exactly alike, I was like, what in the hell's going on here? How is this a flush? But anyway, there you go. So it solves my being kind of a dummy there, but it also solves your 4 paintings. There's the 4th one. And the Joker's pissed because you're not stealing my stuff. This is shit. And the Joker jumps into action. Remember, when he wants to fight, he'll throw down, won't he? I mean, he'll run like he did earlier, but it's all he ran for a reason. But if you get in his way, he doesn't mind at least throwing a few punches or kicks. Because he kicked the shit out of somebody about last issue or the issue before.
Yes.
Remember that one?
2 ago.
2 ago?
Yeah. So the Joker, I heard you were killed by a whirlpool in Star City. Uh-oh. Last issue.
Oh, there it is, folks. They made at least one line reference to what happened to him last issue, but we were right. Everybody was right. They're not going to follow that up at all. No submarine, no rescue by the henchmen, no getting drug up out of the water by somebody on the docks, nothing.
Dave, we're lucky that they even brought it up.
Yeah. Well, they had to, right? I did the right. I'm saying it right. I'm purposely saying that this time because, well, I mean, they didn't have to, but
they left you on one hell of a cliffhanger, though.
Yeah. You just kind of thought they were going to go with it, but you are so correct, because we have different writers and different art people this issue. We might have not got anything, and that would have explained it, because it's different people. So it's even like a double bonus that it even happened. Anywho, Joker's talking trash while he just really kicks the hell out of the 10 of spades here. Just drop kicks him. Ow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking trash. He grabs them. I mean, the storyline, whether we like it or not, it's moving. Well, it stalled out for a minute there. And now I'm kind of getting some action. The Joker runs in. He's grabbing these. And here come the woo, woo, woo. The police finally show up, but it weren't all the sheriffs up there, because they were all knocked out.
A question. Do you see what's wrong with the King's statement?
Police silence.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a typo. Unless he's talks like that, but we wouldn't know that because we haven't talked to him yet.
He can say the 2 R's in retreat, and he can say the L in police.
Yeah, it's a typo.
It's a typo.
No. And yeah, good catch.
I think that's our first typo of the comic run
so far that the one that we've caught. Have you noticed something else about the paintings? I just noticed this.
No.
You'd never see the front of any of them.
Yeah.
What are the odds here? What are the odds that
they're going to reveal them later?
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
But no, it's definitely on purpose. He makes a joke about, I got a banana split. Double entendre.
Yes.
There we go. Right.
Also, what do you think of Joker there?
It's terrible.
Yes.
I'm just going to straight up say it. You ask, I'll tell you. It's not good. Sorry. And then the joke, he makes a joke, but they give away the shit talking to the tenant or the ace of spades here. He calls him a white-faced, witless buffoon. No, that's the Joker style. You don't steal the Joker style. He gets to call people names. So they gave that away to him. And instead
they're running because of the police, apparently.
Yeah, the police are on the way. But this dude decides to throw the only painting he has and throw it away as a weapon instead of just keeping it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's plot line because he
does a horrible job at trying to hit the Joker and ends up hitting the Leo instead.
Yeah. And I like this officer. He didn't waste any time. He's like, hey, hands up, dude. Draws down on him and gets whopped in the head. You see
the joke there? Correction officer. Yeah. That's a good one.
You shall drop. I gotta get that on my little. Do you have that on your little board?
I might.
No. There you go.
No, it's no. Sorry. There we go.
We're gonna
you heard
we're
that
gonna all
one,
start
right?
raving up. She's gonna throw
like that.
Yeah, she's gonna throw the 2 of hearts and they're all gonna start raving on the roof there. That's the rave card. Right, fist pump. That's the fist pump card. The 9 of clubs. My Jersey Shore fist pump.
Minutes later, I'm gonna knock those costumed cards silly. Oh yeah, you would one army.
Well, yeah, those guys have been fist fighting the whole time. If you remember,
right?
They've just been beating the hell out of each other for the last couple minutes.
Cease and desist, baboons.
Baboons. That's great. Oh, and there you go. There's your little flower thing.
He has such disregard for his own henchmen that he's just going to flower them all with something.
Yeah, he gasses them.
In fact, it'll be a gas.
Oh man. Okay.
Odd behavior even for a madman, says the editor.
Yeah. The editor. So he knocks out his own dudes, puts his old Arthur Wilde mask back on, which is a smart move.
Yes.
Because the rest of the police, the regular police department apparently showed up. Because everybody's knocked out or gone. I mean, like everybody is knocked out or gone except Ella Joker. And guess who he references, though? We haven't seen this.
Batman.
You gotta do it at least once during the issue. Normally it's a prop with a picture of Batman on it, like the punching bag, the little box from the last issue, the card, all kinds of stuff. So we at least get that reference to a Batman this issue. And this log LEO guy happens to know Arthur Wilde. I don't know why he would know.
They know him because he was up on the roof. But these are different police.
These are different. These are like PD, local PD. The other dudes were sheriffs in their tactical gear, the green, the olive green.
Right.
These are obviously local PD.
Maybe they're the library police. Who knows?
Could be like a Capitol type police. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, he takes a wild guess. No, tough crowd. There it is. I was waiting to do that for like the last couple minutes. I was like, oh, I have to. Anywho, he's like, sure, man, that's me. Everybody left, but they left the painting. See, so they can't accuse him of trying to walk out of him. And even if he did, I'm Arthur Wilde, and everybody believes me.
Dave,
he could have just picked him up and walked out, or at least down the stairs, and nobody would have questioned it.
This is not nitpicky. Look on the left at Arthur Wilde. What color is his hair?
It's green now.
Look on the right, Dave.
It's blue now. It was blue before too, and it was green, blue, green, blue. You caught that, didn't you?
That's another letter grade lower.
Yeah, that is just.
How do you make that mistake right next to each other?
Twice in a row. See, I'm scrolling.
Well, he's
back
changing from the Joker, so I can understand why his hair is green, but he has to make his hair blue.
You could get away with that, but he changed his beard blue. Okay,
blue to green to blue.
You can get away with that one on that far top left one.
Yes,
but he went from blue, from blue to green, back to blue. So a three-way there. Yeah, so you're right. You're right again.
Did you catch that when you read it?
No, I did not. Not the first time. I caught it when you brought it up there, and I was
maybe that's the better way to read this. Maybe that's the better way to read this so far. Anyway,
well, I thought about it, especially this run, but being the host here, I guess I just want to have some, in case there's some notes that I want to talk about. I don't want to miss anything. Like, if I don't forget, there's a little bit of a background story on his name here.
Okay.
So these guys are locked up. Did it say where? I guess. Oh, City Hall is right down there, by the way.
Yeah, the city jail.
The city jail. City Hall is in the building, like right next door or something. Because that's where we met the sheriffs, which was a little odd. Now I think about this for continuity. Mm-hmm. If that's a local small town and they only have sheriff, there you go. Now you caught that. I know this because up in DC, the marshals handle the prisoners at the courthouse because they don't have sheriffs. Right down the road in Alexandria, the sheriffs handle certain things. Although the Washington PD Metro, of course, obviously they lock somebody up, they bring them to the detention center, which is their people. But when they bring them over to the courthouse, they turn them over to the marshals, even though it's a city courthouse. That's why.
And then you've got the Capitol Police. You've got the Metro Police.
Yeah, there's 1,000. There's 1,000.
There's like 20 different departments in the district.
At least.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Wildwood, Wisconsin.
That has a sheriff's department sitting in City Hall. And then the local PD guys just show up. It's just weird. It's nitpicky.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
It's dumb. Dumb.
So Ixnay, don't call him the Joker. You'll blow my cover. Why he's allowed to talk to the prisoners at all, I don't know. But he, I went to great lengths to be respectable for my hometown. Well, you're what? Oops. Well, now you know, so I may as well tell you the rest. So then he goes in a flashback. He really is Arthur Wilde. He was only 5 when great granddad Thaddeus passed away. But I remember the old coot well. And then he brings in some so this is like supposedly an origin story for Arthur Wilde or the Joker.
For Joker, apparently, according to him, and in this comic run, he really is Arthur Wilde's great grandkid.
Okay.
Apparently.
So he brings in a stupid turtle, asks his grandfather while he's busy painting, "You want to see this stupid turtle?" And then old Gramps has a lousy temper about it. Probably pissed off because this is the 50th time that his special little guy over here is trying to annoy him and interrupt him. I told you a million times, don't bother me when I'm working. And then threw the paint in his face.
Just threw it right in his face.
And the experimental paint permanently discolored his skin.
Yeah, here we go, dude. Okay.
And 1920s woman comes over here. I'm serious. That's the time.
That's the look.
Yeah. So he was sent to Switzerland for being so annoying.
Well, now he's horribly disfigured, and you notice to the left pane, look how big his chin is here. At least they put that on. Did you notice they did that?
Yeah.
Like horribly long chin for the kid. Like, come on. I get it, but yeah, experimental paint, JT. Okay. That's what we're going with. All right.
So then he said, "I stole those paintings to humiliate the town that exiled me. It's my personal vendetta against this loathsome place." Okay, but then they say, in case you missed that, we repeat the Joker said stole, past tense.
Yeah, how did he steal them? They were sitting up on the top of the roof. He didn't get to steal them. The cops showed up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using the excuse of his hometown, vendetta. I have a vendetta against this loathsome place, like you said, like you just read, I think. And he's like again, he's just down there hanging out with his henchmen in City Hall, which is just weird. It wouldn't have happened, but okay. And he says he slipped a bug onto the ace of spades. He pulled a Batman type of thing. He wasn't looking. He threw a bug, and there it is on the back of his neck. Look at that.
Ace, we got trouble. And the trouble is you.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they're not happy. And look what he's doing.
Ace is in charge, technically. The queen is flipping out.
Yeah, he
changed their costumes. Just gave them flying scooters and had new weapons. And apparently it's cramping their style.
Yeah, they're not happy. And look at the double entendre here. She smacks down his deck of cards. Wow. Cool. That's kind of cool, though. They got to do something right. So they're in arguments, and they are not happy. The king gets right up in his face,
yelling about the gadgets getting in their way, and then Ace.
The gadgets suck, but the cards were pretty effective, weren't they?
Yeah.
Not? The cards, they knocked everybody out. They made them. So I don't know what he's complaining about.
Yeah,
he said they're too complicated.
Is kind of weirdly drawn there, but he says the ability to induce self-fulfilling prophecies with those cards is meaningless next to the power of the Force.
Yeah, and the little turtle for Lady V, was collateral damage there. Did you see it go flying away?
Yeah.
Out of his hand. Yeah, the great granddaddy was not a nice man, apparently. Yeah, so this was a fairly written bubble. The art's weird. That's a pretty ability to induce self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a kind of a grown-up bubble there, but it's good. You learn, right? And he's trying to explain that he redesigned. Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say that he made him from the clubs into spades because spades are symbolic of treachery, and they're going to cause a treacherous situation to whoever gets in their way. The ace of spades is the card of death, and they'll end up like this. And he crumples up the card on the garbage heap.
Yeah, look how strong he is. Oh no!
Oh no!
He crumpled up a card. I mean, he could have took a beer can, smashed it on his head or something.
Yeah, right. Or popped the beer cap off with his eye socket. Something, We got to talk about that later. But anyway, on the garbage heap tonight, won't they be surprised? Big deal. What I want to know is, when do you spring us out of here? So, not quite sure where this is going, and we're almost to the end of the issue, right?
Almost.
Yeah.
He's not going to bust them out. I don't know if that's just because he's an a-hole or he's planning something for them.
But he just leaves them in there. Now that he's a pillar of the community, he can't let anything make him look bad.
Well, yeah, because he's in disguise in City Hall. So if he breaks them out, everybody will know.
Now, who is that in the back in the green? You go back up in the jail cell. Who does that look like to you?
T'Challa?
I was going to say maybe Colonel Ty.
Oh, I thought maybe you were just going to guess T'Challa. But yeah, he's rocking the turtleneck. I thought maybe that's what.
Turtleneck?
Yeah. BSG. You are correct.
Lazy drawing. The face doesn't look unique.
No, not at all. So
we turn out to the library in the dead of night, right?
Yeah. Back to the library, where we have more inept officers and or security people who just apparently get knocked out every single time we see them.
Ouch!
That would hurt.
But it's not the guards; it's the police.
That's actual police officer, and he still gets somebody. They sneak up on him, knock him the hell out, pretty brutally.
They call him a guard, but it's the police.
Yeah,
the not sheriff's department.
The not sheriffs or Marvin or what's his name?
Also, this is the King of Spades. What does the King of Spades have in his hand, Dave?
Looks like a club of something.
A club?
A club.
Uh-huh.
Well, remember, I guess that's what maybe they were complaining about, that the weapons still suck.
So why doesn't he hit him with a shovel?
I don't know. You would think.
A spade. Yeah. Okay. The Opus series, where nothing stands us in the wild fortune.
Yeah, because they only have one guard protecting the whole building now.
They had to fly it in with a armored helicopter, by the way.
Right. It's so valuable, though. Yeah, exactly right. And it already withstood one attack that they still only have one dude trying to guard all that stuff after everything that happened. Well, it makes it easy for them to get in. So just go with it.
So there was a fortune. That Swad was an eccentric genius and a multimillionaire and an asshole. He disinherited his heirs, so he was a big asshole.
Yeah.
But they didn't deserve his fortune. So he hid his money somewhere. So he was a triple asshole.
Yeah, he didn't like
triple A. Yeah. He was a triple A. Anyone intelligent enough to find my clues to the money's hiding place is smart enough to possess my money and use it wisely. Not necessarily, but okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. So this guy, the Ace of Spades, knows this whole story.
You think he was one of the guys in the room?
I was hoping that this was going to be some kind of surprise reveal. Just to let you know where I was going with this. He really knows some intricate details of this guy. And I'm like, how? Is that just the normal, everybody knows this kind of a thing? Or he did his homework?
I think he might have been in the room. I think he might have been one of these guys in the room.
I would have thought so. Because that's what they're making it out to be. He just kind of knows too much. Because there's no lead up into that
it's just bad exposition.
Like
they don't even a vessel to
to move the plot forward. But the plot is the fact that he knows all this stuff, is it not? I mean, So I was a little confused. I was hoping that maybe they would come up with something really cool, like this is that guy right there in the blue suit, or the other dude, or even her.
Would have been, yeah.
Could have been, could have, would have.
Little ace on the back of his sport coat, something.
Yeah, there you go. That would have been really cool. They're like, oh wait,
but they're not here to do that. They're just shoving a story down our throat
at this point. Yeah, because Joker is still just listening to them, and he does this kind of a crazy thing. Look what he does here. Now the Joker's crazy.
Destruct. It's time to play my trump card. Very nice.
Trump card.
Very nice.
Well, he can call him on the new Trump phone.
Yeah.
So he blows up the paintings, and look what Ace of Spades says.
What the deuce?
Deuce? Hey, man.
What the deuce?
Well, he didn't exactly.
If you've never seen Family Guy, folks,
yeah,
just do that and come back real quick.
Yeah, giggity. Do that and come back. Well, he doesn't destroy them. Although that's what he said, disintegrating the paintings. Yeah, I don't care. This issue is rough, a little brutal. So he doesn't destroy them, though. He just changes the look to himself.
In their place appear 4 Jokers.
Yeah. 2 of them are self-portraits, which is fine. That's great. He probably would have done that. And then he's kind of flashing back to, well, if he destroyed those paintings, he actually does have the other 4. But when and how did that happen? Well, they go back and say that the Joker's so crazy, JT, that he had actually already stole them.
Yeah. I don't think so, Tim.
What happened?
It's a home improvement.
Oh, yeah.
Al Borland. I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so, Tim. So he explains to us that he has 4 fold away duplicate paintings from his box of novelties.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, that's a little much here. This is bad, dude. And then he switched them when?
It's easy for me to return to the library roof and retrieve the canvases,
which he already knew were fake.
Which he had hidden in the stairwell, except he didn't take them away. The police did.
He didn't take them away. Well, these are the originals. The ones on the roof are the fake ones that they hung up. He had these stashed right under their noses the whole time.
So he
did it on purpose.
No, he changed into Arthur Wilde and somehow pulled out these duplicates and reframed everything, or pulled the other ones out from under the stairwell and put them in. Yeah, this does not make sense. I mean, that is utterly far too convenient.
I don't even know where the originals went or how he got them. I guess
he swapped them under the stairwell. Don't you know? This was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then when does he just grabs them and walks out later in the middle of the night, I guess, because that would make sense because the guard, just knock out the guard. Right, that poor guy. He's gonna have lumps all over the back of his head.
Let me get this straight. That one police officer that was not one of the green police officers, not one of the sheriffs, rushed up onto the roof all by himself with no backup. Got knocked out. You had enough time for him to stay knocked out, change your entire get up and attire, swap out all 4 of these paintings that you already had copies of, and put your face up there instead of the originals.
Yeah, that apparently were just happened to be in the novelty box.
Because they had to be in the mystery box to begin with.
Why does he? Yeah. See what I mean about that?
Couldn't he go to Kinko's or something? I mean, come on.
I'm just still confused. When did he sneak? When did he sneak in and swap them out?
And then he swapped them all out while the single cop all by himself with no backup was on the roof.
Did it on
the sheriff department was nowhere to be found. He swapped all of those, and then the rest of the police came up after that.
JT, he already stole them, and just for fun, he went back and did all this. You saw that, right? What happened was easy. I switched them with the real McCoys, but it was too easy because no competition, no fun. So he had already stolen the originals somewhere, somehow, some time ago. See what I'm getting at?
I disagree with the order of events. But anyway, around it,
I don't know how. But
I think you and I have two different versions of it, but I don't think it matters because in the end, it's bullshit.
Well, see, he says
it is
easy for me to return to the library roof and retrieve the canvases, which makes no sense because he left them up there anyway. So apparently, he had already stolen the originals to begin with. Apparently.
I don't even at this point, Dave, I don't even want to dwell on it because it is.
I'm just trying to figure it out, man. It's so crazy.
It's gonna hurt my head.
yeah. Good thing.
Okay, so the next day, I still can't. You got the gang here, the royal flush. I still can't believe the Joker returned the paintings to the exhibit and challenged us to re-steal them before he does. It's all here in the paper's classified ads.
Yeah. So they got away. Apparently, they went in to steal them. He blew them up. It wasn't the original, so they left. Because again, there's only one dude there, and they beat his ass, and they left. Then they read the paper and see this. This is what's happening.
How would they pick up on that, and how would he know that they're reading the paper that diligently in the classifieds?
Don't know. You just go with it. Put your remember I said put your just go with it hat on for tonight.
Okay.
Now you see what I mean.
Yeah.
That normally we say, oh, you just go with it for fun, but this issue, seriously, you have to put your just go with it hat on.
Right.
And then now we get some absolute clarification on who the guy in blue is. He really is just only a guard. Although
this group is, we don't know what happened to the last group that was on the roof.
No, they all went to the hospital apparently. Because
we don't know if that was a guard or a police officer.
No.
Okay.
We don't. Well, this guy's a guard.
Yeah, so he's ready for them. I mean, there's 4 of them. He has 6, maybe only 5. So this guy's a crack shot, by the way. Ready perhaps, but you're certainly not fast enough for us. Jamming his gun barrel with a stupid spade.
Flying acid
from like spade 2 inches away.
Yeah. Well, that's comic book stuff there. I'm compared to the other stuff.
Okay.
The little flaming acid spade thing's a little wild, but hey, compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But so now the library actually does have more than one guard because we see at least one other dude. There's 2 here because it tells you. Hey, pal, got a light? And it's not. So there's at least a second guard somewhere who's just apparently not doing anything, but that's okay. I mean, you have sitting posts. All right.
Hey, pal, you got a light?
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, your hand, it's dead white. Yeah. Wish.
And then look what he does to this poor guy.
Fried him.
That's 3 in this.
He fried him.
Is it not? Yeah. Brutally. That's just terrible. But that's the Joker. There you go. He just, I mean, he eviscerates him. Oh my God, dude. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Occupational hazards. Holy crap.
Yeah, being a security guard in this run of comics is not a good thing to do.
They should just wear red uniforms.
Or have Marvin and what's his name just come back every issue like they never got, you know what I mean? Just redo them each time.
It'd be like, yeah, we heard there's a security guard shortage on this side of town.
Each issue, just redo it, and then it becomes funny. Like, okay, we're waiting. Where's Marvin? What's his name? We were already doing that on our own, and now it's pretty obvious that's what they should have done, or made them Joker's henchmen, because they could have said, "Screw being a security guard in this town, man. You're always getting our heads bashed in, or getting our asses kicked, or knocked out, or getting, you know what I mean, JT?"
Right.
So yeah, being a security guard in Gotham normally is just not a good way to go. And
no, it's not.
With this issue, it pretty much shows you, yeah, with the Joker running around, not to mention all the other villains running around, you don't want to be a security guard in Gotham, period. Anywho,
so
Joker ambushes these, well, he doesn't really ambush him, he actually confronts them.
Yes.
And Queen tries to throw out, which one? The 9 of spades?
Yes. The card for suffering.
Ooh, that doesn't sound very nice, does it?
And he says, "Oh, my body, it feels like I ate Taco Bell."
He ran for the border. It didn't. Hey, that was their slogan, not mine.
Now to hand this laughing lunatic something to cry about on the next page.
Yeah, old boy's getting ready to punt the Joker. He's getting ready to jump him, but he's not having it, is he?
Now the Joker says, "The only thing I'll do is cry for joy."
Yeah, it gives him a double uppercut smash. I like that. I didn't tell you the Joker.
Yeah, that's like a Kirk. That's like a Kirk maneuver there.
It's like a And if it's Buck Rogers, he like semi kick him in the chest.
Yes, Lady V, I know. He didn't really say that. He says, "It feels like my body's on fire," but the way he's double over, Taco Bell is a much better fit.
Wait till I tell you what Denny's has been doing down here in Newport Ridge. But anyway,
yeah.
Though, and I will say their name because I can prove it, but your power of suggestion card tricks are wasted on the Joker. Like, wait a second. He faked it and cracked him up. Pretty good hit here. And then he just whips on out a jar of peanut butter. Like, what? Oh, okay. I get it. I thought it was I should have known better. It's not a jar of damn peanut butter, but a snake, one of those little plastic foamy things that used to pop out and scare you.
Mm-hmm.
Except this one is a little bit more deadlier than that. It actually attacks the dude and starts choking him. But that's the ace of spades. So the 10 of spades. See why I get confused sometimes here? So that's the ace of spades. And then the 10 of spades runs over and grabs.
No, it's still the ace. It's still, oh yeah. Oh, wait.
No. Yeah. The ace of spades. That's what I was saying.
Well, don't miss the middle pane, what he says.
Yeah.
Thought you bested me.
Hey, AC. Well,
the choke is on you. Yep.
Yeah,
every choke can backfire, as you'll learn once I fit my hands around your scrawny neck, says the 10.
There you go. It says the 10, and you got to figure, well, you're already talking too much, but I like the fact that when people are throwing down, they're talking shit to each other. That's always been funny.
Right.
But like I just said, he already wasted too much time with the Joker. You got to be quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to give him credit. He didn't choke him like he said he was because he was too busy talking like I am. But hey, speaking of fit, you're fit to be tied.
Yeah.
Yes, Lady V. Peanut butter and duct tape. You need to run. Run away. Speaking of which, I just segued. Thank you, Lady V, for the setup. Tomorrow night is Holy Grail. And there is a line in that movie we just said. So you'll have to come back and watch it to see it.
You know what I just planted a few weeks ago? 3 shrubberies. I did. Anyway. And while the Fortuitous Fugitives from a euchre deck, interesting. Do you play euchre, Dave?
I actually read that wrong because I had to look up fortuitous. I would have thought. I think I would have got it. I read that as fatuous, and then I was like, "Wait, that's not right." Fortuitous. Oh, so
fatuous.
Yeah, it means silly and pointless.
Yes,
I looked it up, and then because I had to look it up, I looked up euchre, and then I was like, "Oh, wait, that's the card game." Duh.
Yeah, that's my favorite card game. It's very common in the Midwest, upper Midwest. So, like, I bet even Lisa has probably played it. But Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, it's huge. It's huge.
Huge.
And it's played with the 9 through ace of all the suits, and you play on 2 teams of 2, and your teammate sits opposite of you, and you try. It's like a game of high card, but one of the suits is always wild, and
it's like a trick. You try to trick the other player or something.
Yeah. When you win one of the hands, it's called a trick, and there's 5 tricks to a match, and first, if you get all 5, you get 2 points. If you get 3 or 4 out of the 5, you get 1. So first team to 10 wins.
So you said Midwest, so I know a couple of tricks down there about St. Louis area. Anyway, so did I say that out loud?
The deck is okay. So the fatuous fugitives from a euchre deck are trying to figure which loose end is up, because he tied them all together.
Okay, so
without them resisting, that was quite a magic trick there.
I'm feeling really kind of dumb this issue.
Yes.
Okay. So he went from
this to all of that.
Is this his apartment?
This is the library.
It is the library. Again, it's the library.
Yeah.
All right. So after the Joker destroyed the fake ones, he put out the ad and he went back to the library. The Joker did. Remember, they already knocked out the gang, knocked out the guard to go there. Didn't work out. They were fake. Because he changed they were fake. So they left. They read the newspaper. He said, well, you can come back to the library because I've got the real ones now. And nobody is, I guess, he just walks around with impunity. Okay. So he put the original ones back at the library. Nobody caught him doing that,
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to clarify, to be honest with you. I'm not even nitpicking. I'm just want to get my storyline straight. I was confused about that. That's the library again. I know they said it, but I'm like, what? Okay. I'm going to do Joe Pesci. Okay.
This is a good explanation of the whole thing.
Where's my fucking straw? Go back. Sorry.
So here we go. Quickly, the Joker rearranges the paintings on the wall. Why he needs to do that quickly when everybody else is tied up, and he could just do that again because he's so much better than them. Anyway, the scrupulous art dealers often cut canvases into quarters to make a 4 times greater profit on a sale.
Kind of like covers on magazines, or dare I say, covers on comics.
Yeah, never seen that before.
Never.
They did it to the greatest.
I know a comic I've never seen before. I know a comic a lot of people have never seen before. Sorry, never mind.
I got you.
You got me now.
There's still time, by the way, but the end is nigh. So they did it to the greatest. And so, voila, the Laughing Man, the lost canvas of Thaddeus Wild. It'll make a fine trophy for my hacienda. Okay.
Yeah, so
just about the only good thing I've seen so far. But hey,
he's going to steal them again because they're up on the wall in the library, which you are correct. And then he calls them the Royal Flushers. You can forget about the money. I already broke the code. The money was buried under the house I bought, and I already stole it.
Yeah.
So now he
already took all the money. Yeah.
He took the money, and he's going to run out of here with the paintings. But guess what happens?
It looks like someone on Blue Sky was triggered because we get a large reeing noise. Oh, wait. Sorry. That's a siren.
Wee.
It's the fuzz. Too bad I'll have to leave the canvases behind. Why? Just like hide them again.
Change into the
why are you on? Yeah.
So when the Popo guard / sheriffs decide to go on their lunch break again, you just pick them up and walk out. Because apparently you can walk in and out anyway.
Yeah.
So when
he did change. And he did change.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. He changed again and then left them there.
But look what color of uniform the police are wearing.
Blue.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the fuzz. The fuzz are the police, right? Not security guards.
Well, you got to see the patch. He calls them the fuzz.
He called them the fuzz. That's police. And look, who's running into the library? The police.
Yeah, he's already changed and standing outside.
But my point is here, Dave, blue uniform.
Yeah.
So anyway. Is that the police or the security guard?
I don't know.
Anyway. We know we're not going to get the real deal on that.
The police are loading up the Royal Flush Gang, like the ending of all of these. Like if you watch any of the comic cartoons, they're loading the Flush Gang back up in the paddy wagons. Meanwhile, the Joker and his henchmen, he actually lets the henchmen out. He breaks them out. And apparently, because it's City Hall, he just decides to blow a hole in the whole side of the wall.
Yeah.
Which is good style. I mean, I like the style. But I guess there's just nobody around City Hall. So the Joker's laughing, and Blondie is kind of like, "What? Why are you laughing? You got nothing." Because he doesn't know about the money, but he knows he doesn't have the paintings, or does he? I don't know. I don't know how he knows he doesn't have the paintings.
You brought up a good point. They have 2 police forces and an ample security guard force. This must be like the most dangerous small town in America. And
this is
nobody's there. No one's there in the jail.
Yeah. Yes, you're right, buddy. Nice costume. So it's like if you leave Gotham and go to Wildwood to be a security officer, you're like, I'm moving back to Gotham.
Yeah.
Because apparently,
like this shit's safer in Detroit. Like I'm leaving. Yeah,
I'm going back to Detroit because out here in this one little small town is like I've already gotten hit in the head 3 times, gassed, and 3 of my friends have already been deleted in 12 pages.
Yeah,
right. 1 horribly burned, scorched.
So he tells this to long-haired He-Man and 2 people that don't even get the decency of having their faces drawn.
Nope.
My fine felonious fools, you don't really believe that all tall tale about my being Arthur Wilde. And then he says, remember the Night Watchman, the old one named Art?
Remember that guy? The first one to buy it? Yeah. Well, so apparently this whole thing about him actually being Arthur Wilde was a lie. So now it's okay. So he's not Arthur Wilde. So it's not an origin story. He just made it up. I was like, okay. But then he says, you're ready for this. You read this right now?
Well, I was also distracted because he only lets one of them sit in the Joker mobile, and the other two have to ride dangerously in the camper.
I'm assuming, or it's just they didn't even bother. I don't know what those little things are in the.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
So the security guard was actually Arthur Wilde's great
Arthur Wilde. Mm-hmm.
His name is Arthur Wilde. Yeah, Art Wilde. You get it?
Yes.
Okay. Art Wilde,
including his fabulous collection of gag novelties. But I was really after a diary in that box, Thaddeus Wilde's diary, that gave the key to the money code. And we do have the money, right?
See?
So why did he do any of this adventure?
I don't know. Because where's the art? Not art, but where is the art? Oh, he left it back at the library because he had to run away.
And he already had the diary with the code for the money.
Because it was for fun. And we needed a comic to read.
Uh-huh.
But now we get something odd we haven't seen. They're actually being chased by the police. So I'll ask again, everybody, JT, what's going to happen at the beginning of next issue, number 6? Is it going to be a continuation of this chase? Or option
I think he'll do something
2?
with the money. I think he'll do something with the money.
I'm going to go
the chase is nothing to do with it. To me, the money.
But why are they chasing him? Oh, because he's driving around in a damn green camper and it's the damn Joker out in Wildwood.
Yeah.
So the Wildwood police are chasing him. They don't really have any other cause to chase him except his felony escape.
They finally watched their footage of the jail that no one was guarding. And then they were like, oh, we rewound it. And the Joker was the one that did this.
Yeah. Well, he's an escaped convict anyway. Internationally known, I would think, or at least in the area.
Everywhere but Gotham, he's known.
Everywhere but Gotham. Mm-hmm. So my prediction is, and I want, if you can remember and hold me to this, we're going to get the same thing that, I don't know, this is pretty, having a full chase scene like this would automatically say that I'm going to be wrong, because I'm going to say, no, they're just going to do a whole nother issue of something else. Mm-hmm. That's going pretty far out there based on this artwork. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they'll continue?
It'll be a completely unrelated story other than he wants to use the money for something.
Okay. I'm Leo Getz. So whatever you want, Leo Getz. Get it? Get it? Yes.
Oh.
They're fucking through the drive-thru. Where's my fucking straw?
Yeah.
We've gone past 10 minutes. I can cuss, right?
I already have.
All right, JT. Deep breath. What's your prediction that they're going to do a complete, separate, different comic next week?
Oh, I don't think they will. It'll be something with the money.
Oh, really? You're going to go with continuation. Okay.
They changed the art. They made it worse. So I think they're trying to go a different direction. That's my prediction.
That's a good point. It's different people.
The Schwartz guy is the same. The others are different.
Yeah, the writer though is different. You're right. You're right. You're right about that.
I didn't look at the next issue yet, but I just have a sneaking suspicion.
And I don't have
they wanted that.
Yeah, I don't even.
I know you haven't looked at it yet, right?
I can't. I don't have it. So everybody knows, right? There's telling everybody.
Hey, I'm keeping them honest, folks. I'm keeping them honest.
Yeah, well, so you can actually hold me to. Well, you looked at it, so yeah, you're just saying that for the show. No, I think everybody knows that I don't do that. Because if I looked at it, I wouldn't hold it in. We'd just be wanting to talk about it.
Right.
I have to think about it now, because you make an excellent point that we do have a new writer, and that artwork is pretty strong lead in. But I'm going to stick to what I said. I'm going to go for it and say, nah, they might bring up the money, but as far as continuity or continuation of the chase, I might be wrong, but I'm going to say, nah, it's going to be a different kind of story. Like it's not going to start off with that chase scene, or it won't be like, meanwhile, there's the chase scene. That's not, it's just going to move on to something else and they'll mention it like they did this time. Okay. That's my prediction. I'm just going to stick with it because I just figure, it just seems like their MO. We're already on issue. It'll be issue number 6 out of 9/10. But all right, let's hear it. I think I know what you were going to say here, but
you would like my restrained opinion of this?
I think it's going to be the worst grade out of the 5, without a doubt. I think I'm going to go with that at least.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so this issue makes spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, illustration/inking mistakes. It is lazy enough to just stop drawing faces on people that we've gotten in every issue previous to this. The Joker looks downright terrible in some places. The story is a hot mess, an absolute hot mess, and insults the reader on the last page by making the whole point of it completely useless to go on the whole affair in the first place. So I could go into more detail about how the antagonists were lame as hell, but I don't think we need to go much further than that. I can't tell if the police are blue or green or maybe just security guards, because that's how little detail and care that everybody put into this. So I'm going to give a grade accordingly. This is a D-.
Oof.
This might, we only have 4 left. This might as well be BSG 14
/ maybe the 10.
Yeah.
Back in issue number 1, somebody mentioned there was a 10th. Maybe that might have even been you, buddy, or Phantom Outside or somebody like that.
It's a D-. If we finish and this is the worst one, it gets an F. And this is my BSG 14 for the reason that it straight up damn insults the reader at the end. I mean, it's lazy. They can't get the Joker's hair right, but it just made the whole point of this whole thing was he wanted the money. So why did we do this whole other affair when he had the diary the whole time and all he had to do was read it and crack the code and then just take the money? There's nothing he never said anything with the code had anything to do with the paintings or going to Wildwood, or that the box was in Wildwood. The box was at Arts the whole time. The thing with the money was at Arts the whole time. At least we can assume.
The money was in the house he bought.
Was it?
Yeah. There he said it was underneath the house. He had to break the code from the diary, which he stole from Art's lunchbox.
He couldn't just break open the box with the crowbar?
Not the lunchbox. It wasn't even the lunchbox. No. He broke into the building that had all the novelties in it, and it just happened to have the diary in it as well.
Right.
And he knew that somehow.
So he knew that Art Wild had a chest with all this money in there somehow. And he built a house on top of the location where then why he didn't just take the chest and not build a house over that location. Who knows? I mean, this is the kind of just stupid stuff to finish out the last page.
And Silver Surfer number 1 also knew this stuff somehow. Some of it.
Not
all of it. Not about the money part, but the paintings and stuff.
Everybody knew everything, and everybody explained everything, so you could exposition dump your way through 2 pages. You know what, Dave? I've had it enough. This is an F.
Yeah, I thought you were going to probably downgrade by the time you got done talking. That's what I would do. I usually talk myself either up or down, and I was like, D is not. It's not good enough. He's not good enough. JT's talking himself into like I get sometimes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think you've got me from a C to a D, and I don't like letter grade. I don't do. I mean, I will on an occasion like this. This is a D, but I would say that like Lady V is the only reason it doesn't get an F. The attitude is the only reason I'm hanging on and still having fun.
Yeah,
kind of. But this wasn't fun after a while. It was just
wasn't
dumb. And I know we're adults and
but this comic is for adults.
This
comic is for adults, Dave.
No, he deleted 3 people and one horribly.
This is not for kids when we're adults. Don't insult us.
It's not for kids. It and would you say exposition dump?
Yep.
So we got new writer, right? We got new art, and it fell from anywhere from A's to B's to D's and F's, C's, ABC, D's and F's in one issue. And there you go. And so we can justify it. The attitude, the Joker made me laugh a few times. He constantly insults his henchmen. I think that's hilarious. It's funny. They had a bunch of quips in there. Some of them were good. The choke, you can choke on it.
The correction officer.
But the continuity is horrific. Just the police.
You mean you don't like blue hair to green hair back to blue hair?
Well, you did justify the first of the 4 that he maybe hadn't had time to change it to blue hair just yet. But back to it 3 other times made no sense. That's just basic stuff because it's pain to pay. It's right next to each other.
Yes, same page. It's right next to each other.
So lazy is a good term, I guess. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. They
didn't illustrate all the faces. No, and the people were the only thing in that one view. They had 4 people, nothing in the background, solid color background, and they didn't even see fit to draw a face on 2 of the 4 people.
The solid background that we've given them a pass on because it didn't matter because the other stuff was good enough doesn't do well here. They only had like one time that I ever see any kind of detail that I mentioned in the trailer. Maybe there was some other ones, but just never even noticed it. So yeah, it's a downgrade. It's just the whole story was kind of, other than it's just the Joker, that he did all of that stuff with the paintings for fun. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like him. But as far as trying to read the comic, it's just brutal because it's just dumb. There's no sense in any of it.
Yeah.
The whole point was to steal the money. The art thing where he said he was art and then lied, that's okay. I mean, it's the Joker. Yeah, that's cool in a way, right? I mean, it's so that isn't the origin story, which
no, it's not.
If and I'm surprised somebody hasn't brought it up in the chat yet. Arthur Fleck. See where I'm going with that? Art Fleck. I'm thinking, okay, but which I didn't even know this much about the Joker. I knew Jack Napier from obviously the movie, the Batman movie, all the way back in I wrote it down here, 89. That's how old that movie is already, JT. With Jack Nicholson, Prince soundtrack. So that's Jack, and then they stuck with Jack, and there was some other one. Joseph Kerr, I have no idea. Oswald, because I remember it was part of Penguin's name, and his name was Jack as well, but it had a different last name. So I was thinking Arthur Fleck was going to be in this. They didn't do anything with that. So I was like, wow, wasted opportunity there. Wasted opportunity with the old school security guys. So apparently these dudes didn't have a sense of humor enough to bring the other 2 guys back. And they went through 3 different police departments in a small town right there.
Yeah.
And never brought any of them back. Like the sheriffs, they're gone. Never see them again. They were
off to the cowboy hat store.
Yeah, they were off to the
after all that.
Buy new cigars and boots in Wildwood, Wisconsin. Anyway, you get the picture, everyone. We didn't like it. There was some stuff in there that was funny. You heard me laugh at a few things. Just very confusing. Even the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth again. So when you go back and forth like that, JT, you can't really pull off the just go with it every single time. You can because it's a comic book and you read it for fun, and we love having fun. But when you keep changing in such dramatic fashion as I already stole the paintings. I'm going to put them back in the library. Nobody sees me do it. Nobody caught me doing it in the first place. Okay. Because it's not fun enough. Okay. It's the Joker. I get it. He's just screwing around with these flush gang, but you can't pull it off with all the way you did it. It's not our fault. Right.
Right.
It's not our fault. So there you go. We still have a good attitude, but I think it's just like, oh, JT is not going to like this one at all. Maybe
how did you, it's like, maybe, how did you know?
Well, the art. The art was different. I was like, oh,
they did get somebody different for the art next week.
So Arthur Fleck is not a character from the DC. He was created specifically for the Joker movie. Okay, so there you go, buddy. Thank you for the clarification. I thought maybe all the shows that you're on and we're on or listen to was brought up, and I forgot that. Thank you for making that point. That's an excellent point. That they wouldn't have known who Arthur Fleck was, so it's just a coincidence that his name was Art, unless somebody read this comic book before they did the movie and made his name Art. And I wouldn't know that, obviously, or I would just tell you I knew that because I was in the business or I made the movie. So I don't know if somebody read this Joker comic and came up with the name Arthur because of this run. I seriously doubt it, but a coincidence, who knows? Who knows? Now that the buddy has said that, it's possibility because God knows everything was possibility in this one.
So next week, we have the story writer from the previous 4 issues back. However, we have...
I'm sorry. So I'm still burnt out from all the changes on this comic issue. Say that again. So
they have obviously the same editor, Julia Schwartz.
Okay.
The story is back to Denny O'Neil, who did the first 4 issues.
Okay.
However, we have Irv and Tex as the artists that did this.
Okay. The storyline's going to be Denny O'Neil, but the art will be about the same. Will be the same.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know it will be. If it's the same too, it's going to be exactly the same. We got this issue, but it's not going to be as good. Sorry. It's not going to be as good as the first 4.
Right.
What did
they have?
Say?
They have rotated through artists in here: Garcia Lopez and Ernie Chan and Garcia Lopez, Irvik Novick and Garcia Lopez, Irv Novick and Dick Giordano. So Irv Novick has been on pretty much every issue except for 1.
What about Lopez?
Lopez was on 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we get Denny O'Neil back. Let's see.
Denny O'Neil is the writer, I think, but that's probably the most important part. Next week is we'll get the person I think that had a lot to do with the success of this. For us, anyway, the first 4.
For us. Yeah, and even Buddy's on our side here a little bit. Talking about the quick change. And yeah, and you could go with the comics, but I think everybody understands my point is when you do it too much, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all that go with it stuff, you can't just go with it at a certain point.
Well, you have a suspension of disbelief that lets you get into Star Wars or lets you get into Lord of the Rings or any other fiction. And everybody has a different level and a different flavor of that. So some people love comics, other people don't. Some people love Lord of the Rings, others don't. Same with Harry Potter, you name it on fiction. But if you go, like you said, if you go to the well too many times in one span, people get turned off because they're like, no, I'm pulled out now. Whatever level of that disbelief you had to get me to, it's gone one step over. And now I'm annoyed. I'm looking for the problems. So
Yeah. We're FKC. We're doing Monty Python tomorrow because I already had it loaded up. I don't know the Satan bug. I think I've heard of that. I have to look at. He's got so many good suggestions. I just don't have them. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I do have Transformers movie. I might be doing that, and then I might do Lady V and I were talking about doing an Aliens double feature one night.
Oh,
although I just
long
don't want to
feature.
Yeah, you're talking about 3.5, 4 hours. I might start at 8 or even at 7, but then people have stuff to do. 9 o'clock is a good time. I haven't loaded them up yet, so I don't know if they even work. I know my Blu-ray won't work, but I actually have the older copies on regular, and I forgot that the other day. I was like, oh shit, I got it on regular. Let's try that. Because I know the Blu-ray won't work because I got a piece of junk. So I'll have to copy and paste that. But all right. Well, I think that's about it. JT, what do you got going on as always the rest of the week?
Let's see. Well, who knows where I'll be tomorrow, but assuming not work, I'll try to make some appearance, maybe here for a great movie. Monty Python's The Holy Grail, right?
Yeah.
And,
I think I'm playing that.
Friday, I'll probably hop over on Mark's for some late night Fortnite right around midnight. Usually it moves up and down like the waves on start time. And Saturday, I will be over with the great Admiral Teague and crew, saving Star Trek. We are plowing through season 3 of Star Trek Enterprise.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I saw you guys talking about Hoshi T'Pol last week. I'm like, I'm Team T'Pol, as you well know.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, for me, you called it out for me. Thank you. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because why not? I haven't seen that one in a couple years either. A couple people popped in last week for The Predator. And I actually hadn't seen that in about 2 years. Maybe 3. Yeah. You know that movie? 1987. Jake.
Yeah.
Yep. 87.
It makes sense. They've got a really old collection of M16s and Cold War gear with a lot of that stuff. It fits.
Lady V, thank you for being here. Oh, I was trying to highlight her comment on the other computer. I was like, what the hell? Gotta do that on Stream. Sorry. It's like, damn computer. Yeah. We try, but JT summed it up. When you go to the well too much and we're trying to read it and review it and have fun, it can be kind of difficult because we don't want people to be like, F those guys. They're always down on comics. I don't want to watch them. And you can never make everybody happy. JT and I had talked about this, especially on this platform that we're on. Either people like you or they don't like you. And if they don't like you, you better have some good content that they're willing to put up with you to watch. And good luck with that. You have to have likability. You have to be able to make people want to watch your stuff and have fun. So thank you for the comment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't highlight the comment. That was JT's reply. There we go. There it is. Yeah, that's why we try. I even, I laughed at a few things here, but deep down I was like, this kind of, I'm getting kind of mad. It pissed me, like JT said it there in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting kind of irritated. I was like, yeah. But hey, that's only one out of the bunch so far. So that's not bad. So anyway, I think
buddy, that's a good point. Bad old comics are better than most current comics.
Oh,
yeah.
I won't be reviewing anything now. I'm not buying it. I'm not looking at it unless somebody can recommend something that's maybe some of the Rippaverse stuff, or I know that my boys Nick and Ironcaster love the Transformers.
They do.
I think it's the Image one. Maybe we could go off script DC Marvel and do those, but that's an ongoing thing, JT. What we could do is, instead of me prattling on always at the end of the show, we like to talk a little bit because I'm going to get you out of here. We're at 2 hours. And we could do something like this. Joker, we took a little bit longer on this one because it was not as good as the other one. Did you notice that? Time-wise?
Yes.
I felt like at one point during the show, we were kind of dragging on, and it was kind of my fault, but it was also the comics' fault. It was dragging along. It reminded me of a couple of those Black Panther ones, just a few of those, especially the one with the Yeti and the one with the Indiana Jones part. Remember that, where he's just walking through the desert, and you and I, we say it every week, could have made that comic in 3 pages. That issue was 4 pages tops.
Yep.
I remember you saying that was hilarious. So anyway, all right. Well, let's get you out of here. Thank you, everyone. Lady V, Buddy, FKC 2005. I thought maybe somebody had popped in earlier. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I saw we had some people hanging out, watching Classic Comics. Yes, thank you, JT. I knew there was somebody I was forgetting, and that's pretty cool for Classics to come by and at least say hello. There we go. And he nailed it about that JLO story. That was pretty cool. Yes. He knows his comics, and so does Buddy and Lady V. Is catching up a little bit. She's getting to know a lot of these characters. I wish, JT, that we had Brave and the Bold, the old school one. At least we could do this later as well. Maybe, 10 issues. We don't have to do the whole series of these things. We could always do the first 10 issues or 15 issues and then ask the chat, do you want to keep going or move on? Right? So,
right.
And we are going to move on and say goodnight again. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow night if you can make it for Monty Python. And let me type in. There we go. All right. Goodbye.
All right. See you, everybody. Bye.